Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to another video I didn't really want to make, but when yet another one of the Dungeon Dwellers Reaper miniature 3D print cracks in my hand, just holding it, trying to paint it, I gotta say something. As you guys know, I'm a big miniature painter and collector, and I own stuff going all the way back to the mid-70s, and I've been a big fan of Reaper metal miniatures since the first time I spotted one, and scoured the interwebs and eBay, etc., picking up all the cool stuff that they had to offer and all the cool stuff I wanted. And then they come out, and I knew they owned the Dungeon Dwellers heritage stuff, and I was glad that it went to a good home, so I didn't hesitate to back the Reaper Dungeon Dwellers Kickstarter. But nowhere on the Kickstarter did it say we were going to get shabby, shoddy, fragile pieces of crap miniatures with our Kickstarter. Nowhere could I find that information. I thought, probably going to get some Reaper Bones Black, and those are okay. Not the best, not the worst, not the horrible travesty that the Bones White were, and I thought they'd learn from that mistake, but no, they said hold my beer. I really wonder if Ed would have approved, and I'm sure he's shaking his head, knowing what I know. The 3D printed miniatures, don't get me wrong, I buy some, and I know what I'm getting when I buy them. But when I back a Kickstarter and it looks like I'm getting Bones Black, or I'm getting Bones Clear plastic, which also not going to shatter if I drop it on my carpeted floor. The fact that the Banshee was a bait and switch, it was painted to look like it was going to be the clear plastic. Mind you, I'm 50-50 on that, because the paint job I did on the 3D printed version looks really nice. I'm really happy with the paint job I did. I actually surprised myself, is what I'm saying, that I did such a good job. I'm not a great painter. I'm not the worst painter, but I'm not the best. But I know all the tricks and techniques, etc. But my eyes are, getting worse. My hands shaky, and I've been doing this for 50 years. So there's a lot of people better than me. So when I did a great paint job, I let it slide, and I looked, and sure enough, it was supposed to be clear plastic. Okay, I'll let that slide. But then when I saw the 3D print, and when I got the miniatures, and I'm trying to break off the supports gently with a pair of clippers, and a miniature breaks in my hand from doing that gently, I can be gentle. Don't think that I was just like, rah, no. I've been working with miniatures, like I said, almost 50 years. I know a thing or two about being gentle with handling, between old lead and Aerofix all the way to modern 3D printed stuff. I know how easy this stuff could break, and the kid gloves that you have to deal with them. But excuse me, I dropped this. Thank God it wasn't a 3D print. It was still in the package. And so I did some looking around, and I looked, and yeah, they're, it says on the box, 30 detailed 3D printed or plastic injected fantasy miniatures. And I could tell some were, Reaper Bones Black, which it really should have said that, because that makes me think that maybe it's not even Reaper Bones Black, it's another shortcut. Because guys, I'm telling you, we would have waited another 6 months if it meant that all the miniatures we got were Bones Black and not 3D printed crap that will not last 5 years. And I'll get to that in just a minute. If you would have said, hey, we got a choice between 3D print and we'll have them out to you in 3 months, or Bones Black and we'll get them out to you in 6 to 9 more months. I had forgotten about this Kickstarter, okay? Because I backed so many Kickstarters on a regular basis that this is just another one. And I figured, yeah, it'll come when it comes. And, when I got the notification that I owed $30 on shipping, I'm like, Well, that means it's going to ship. Cool, yay! And don't get me wrong, I'm digging the books. Joe did a really fine job, and this has nothing to do with you, Joe. This is about plastic, and I've got, as you saw last week, I've got Heritage miniatures from 1979. They're still in better shape than, I mean, they're virtually brand new because they've never been painted, they've never been futzed with, they've been sitting in a box in perfect condition. Even the wizard's finger is still there. Not too many people can say that if you go looking around. So I know how to take care of stuff, and I know just the kind of, because I've moved from California all the way to Virginia and back, and everything I moved to Virginia with came back with me except one shoe. So I know how to pack and take care of stuff and hang on to stuff and make sure that it lasts. And this one broke. It just dropping it on the floor. Okay, I can take this Reaper metal and I can throw it across the room into the wall, and I can straighten it out, and you know what? It'll still be around for my grandkids. This 3D printed crap won't be around for my next dog. Okay, my dog's 15. He's not going to be around 5 years. Okay, so guys, Reaper, stop the presses. Literally, just drop it. It's a bad idea. You guys literally were legends. Okay, it says it right here, even though you wrote it. It was true. Reaper metal miniatures are still legendary in the community. Everybody I know who likes metal miniatures knows that Reaper metal miniatures are some of the best. Okay, and if I have to, I will scour the internet and all the places, and I will get every metal miniature I can get before I will buy another 3D printed Reaper miniature. They're just too fragile. When I read about people getting them and they're broken in the package, in the mail, they just get them from Texas to somewhere USA, and they're broken in the package, you know you've made a mistake. Even the Reaper Bones White, as crappy as they were, literally the crappiest miniatures ever produced in the United States or China, I guess, the worst thing to ever hit the miniature market. You're 2 for 2. Please, guys, discontinue the whole 3D print thing. Go back to what made you guys great. If we have to pay a little more, we'll pay a little more. I mean, some of us are buying stuff from Games Workshop, so we're not all right up here, okay? We're grown men paying for little metal statues. But when we get on a tear, like now, and me and this guy, we're not going to forget that we can go elsewhere and get other things. I know it's getting more expensive and it's getting harder. I hear from Emperor's Choice on a weekly basis how, it's getting harder and harder to make metal miniatures, how it's getting more expensive, etc. But it's still the way to go. It's still the best. Obviously, my friend DM James is like, yeah, but what if you want to freaking, kit bash or modify them? I don't know where my I sawed this little guy's ankh off and turned it upside down so I could make it a Blue Oyster Cult symbol. It's not hard. It's not easy, but it's not hard. Okay, you get a little freaking metal saw. I mean, we're big, strong guys, right? We can do a little cutting. If that's the hardest thing we do in our day is to saw a little metal head or arm off a metal miniature, calling that a great day. Okay, but for the future, for miniatures coming down the pike, I'm all metal. I mean, I've been heavy metal since 1975. Gonna keep on rocking with metal. That's what I've got for you guys this morning. I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. I know there's going to be some ranting and some raving, and guys at Reaper, if you want to reach out to me and have a discussion, I'm right here. Joe, still waiting to hear from you because I'm getting ready to go into the DM guide that you made, and I already like what I saw in the table of contents, and I'm kind of impressed. So let's maybe have that conversation as well. Or everybody else out there in TV land, you know, I love you guys. I don't know where I'd be without you, but for right now, I'm gonna say happy trails and God bless.